to the safest and most comfortable atmosphere the host event staff will diligently maintain, establish security procedures and activities. The possession, distribution, and consumption of alcoholic beverages and other illegal substances are prohibited at this site and on any affiliated property of the IHSA State Series contest. State Series hosts are required to make all State Series contest sites and any affiliated property, including parking lots, fan accommodation areas, and other school or event venue property, alcohol-free zones.
No, this is the schools. I do this live stream. Yep. Well, I'm gonna get a hold of Steve during the first half to try to get it for halftime. We're at a few.
Princeton Tiger football is on the air. Today from Bryant Field on the campus of Princeton High School, it's round 2 of the IHSA football playoffs as the Tigers host the Fairbury Praire Central Hawks. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's a beautiful day for football. Temperatures in the mid-50s under sunny skies. Chamber of Commerce weather for sure. I'm Norm Vandermoon, and I'll be joined today by Princeton's basketball coach, Jason Smith. Steve Morton, Princeton's technology advisor, is our producer-director, and he is assisted by Steve Gray and Brody Anderson as our crew is all set to capture these high school football headlines as they are being made. We want to thank our sponsors of Tiger Playoff Football on Tiger Central Live, and they include Midland Bank, Michlig Energy, Princeton Redi Crete, Becks, and Central Bank. It's because of their support we're able to bring you these playoff games. So as our good friend and colleague Charlie Walker so wisely says, if you're in these places of business, please tell them thank you for sponsoring Tiger Playoff Football. And thanks also to the Princeton Public Schools Foundation. And Schmitty, this is what we have been waiting for. A beautiful day, a Saturday afternoon, a playoff game. Take it away, my friend.
Yeah, it just doesn't get any better than that. The leaves are turning in the trees. Beautiful fall day. Playoff football, round 2 of the IHSA playoffs. Two good teams, two teams that are very different in style of play. Where you got the Hawks of Praire Central, likes to run the football a lot. Their pass run ratio is probably 90-10, I would imagine, 90% run, 10% pass, where the Tigers like to play an up-tempo type deal. So, it's going to be interesting to see how those two football teams collide and contrast each other, and we're going to see a good one here in about 12 minutes.
And if you could, give us the notes on the Princeton Tigers.
Yes, Princeton Tigers is enrolled with 546 kids. They are 9-1. number 5 in Class 3A, coached by Ryan Pearson. Week 1, beat Rock Ridge 48-7. Week 2, it was Orion 45-7 over Orion. Beat Hall in Week 3 56-20. Mendota beat them 28-7. Lost to Kiwani 49-21, who's playing in Week 2 as well. Turned around with a nice win against Newman 41-0. Beat St. Bede 47-20. Beat Bureau Valley at 49-20. And then turned around in Week 9, beat Monmouth Roseville 55-14. Last week in the playoffs, won 47-14. Just some stats to run by you for the Tigers. Leading the way in the air is Tegan Davis, number 2 on your screen at home, with 1,856 yards and 16 touchdowns. And in the rushing attack, he's got 934 yards with 18 touchdowns as well. Augie Christensen, 129 attempts, 841 yards for a 6.5 yard average with 3 touchdowns. Logan Glancy, 71 attempts, 508 yards with the 7.2 yards per carry with 5 touchdowns. Receiving those catches from Tegan is Bennett Searns, number 6, 24 catches, 470 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's a 19.6 yards per catch average. Matt Lucas, 26 receptions, 452 yards for 4 touchdowns, 17.3 yards per reception. And then Danny Sahaki's got 12 catches, 138 yards with 7 touchdowns for 11.5 yards per catch. So there you have it from the Princeton Tigers standpoint, Norm, and maybe take it away with the Praire Central Hawks.
Yes, the Praire Central Ball Club, they are 8-2, coached by Andrew Quain. Their enrollment 528. And we are going to hold up now on the notes on Praire Central as the band is going to take the stage, and we will give way to them, as no doubt they'll have the loyalty and national anthem.
IHSA Band and Choir Festival in Rock Island. We would also like to thank our alumni who are playing with the band today to help cover their parts. Thank you, PHS alumni. To welcome our visitors from Praire Central High School, the band will now play their school song. Tiger fans, on your feet. Let's show your blue and white pride as the PHS band plays Princeton Loyalty and our fight song, Let's Win This Game. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please stand, remove your hats, as the band, under the direction of Mr. Stephen Olson, honors America with our national anthem.
All right, and back to our notes on Fairbury Praire Central. They come in with a record of 8-2, and their only two losses. They lost to Tolono Unity, who is 10-0. They lost that game 41-28, and their other loss was to Monticello, a recent state champion. They lost 12-0. Otherwise, all wins: 20-2 over Pontiac, 34-28 over St. Joseph Ogden, 48-14 over Rantoul, 12-7 over Chillicothe, 14-8 over Paxton Buckley Loda, 28-0 over Olympia, 15-0 over Bloomington Central Catholic, and of course they're always a strong ball club. And then last week in the opening round of the playoffs, absolutely destroyed Chicago King. It was Fairbury Praire Central 55 and Chicago King 0. And there you can see a very spirited Princeton Tiger Ball Club out on this beautiful day, getting ready for the opening kickoff, which the Tigers will receive. By the way, Praire Central, their colors, Columbia blue and navy, just like Bureau Valley. Their mascot is Hully the Hawk, and Fairbury is 90 miles from Princeton. The Hawks passed only 34 times all season long. They are led in rushing by Camden Palmore, 95 carries, 824 yards, an 8.7 average, and he scored 9 touchdowns. Their quarterback, Owen Rafferty's a good runner, 385 yards and 5 touchdowns. And passing the football, which we said they do very seldom, but when they do, they are effective. Rafferty, 17 out of 30, no interceptions, 4 touchdowns, 345 yards, and that's 20 yards per completion. Fairbury comprised not only of Fairbury, but also the towns of Chenoa, Cropsey, Chatsworth, Forest, Strawn, and Wing. And Schmitty, we've got some other playoff games taking place today.
Yeah, the area playoff games. St. Bede at Colfax Ridgeview. That's at 1 o'clock today. Fulton at Ottawa Marquette at 1 o'clock. Lena Winslow at Forreston. That'll be at 6 o'clock. That's all in Class 1A. Class 2A, Wilmington at Newman, 10-0 versus 7-3. Erie Prophets down at Bishop McNamara. Deer Creek Mackinac at Downs Tri-Valley, and Tremont at Farmington, and then Lyle at Byron. And that's all in, or 2A, sorry, Lyle at Byron's 3A. 4A, Chicago Phillips at Kewanee, Morton at Morris is your 5A. 6A is Washington at Champaign Centennial. And then at 7A, you got Pekin at Rockford. Also in the 3A, Pecatonica at Elmhurst IC Catholic. And the winner of that game will play the winner of today's contest between the Hawks and the Tigers.
Thank you for that, Schmitty. Just a few scores from last night. Can't really say area scores, but might say regional scores. Chicago St. Patrick beat Rochelle 21-14. Algonquin out of the northwest Chicago suburbs beat Normal Community 17-7. Mount Carmel over Batavia 16-14. Chicago St. Rita 28, Geneva 7. And Villa Park ended the season of the Moline Maroons 30-28. Little contrast in weather compared to last week, huh, Schmitty?
Yeah, just a little bit rainy, cold, and dreary on last Friday night. We got a sunshiny, perfect, well-played, perfect game setting to have a football game here in the playoffs, that's for sure.
Well, getting set to kick off for Fairbury is Claire Strong. I understand that she likes to do more of the squib kick style kickoff, so we'll see if that plays true on this one. And this is a kick that's going to sail to about the 18-yard line, and the Tigers getting a good return out to beyond the 40.
Bennett Sirens there on the return, just basically up the gut of the special teams right down the middle of the field, and returns that ball roughly about 20 yards, where the Tigers will take over on the 41-yard line.
What are some of the keys for the Tigers today, Schmitty?
I personally think on the defensive end, it's going to be defense and offensively is always the up front at the line. If the line can win the line of scrimmage, I think the Tigers will come up on top.
1st and 10 for the Tigers. Tegan Davis under center. And the Tigers are going to keep it on the ground. It's going to be good for a short gain. That's Augie Christensen on the carry.
Yeah, Augie just running off tackle on the left-hand side. Picked up what he could. Gained about 3 yards on the play, bringing on 2nd and 7 for the Tigers.
This time Davis in the shotgun. He has 2 wide receivers to each side. Now Augie Christensen moves to Davis's immediate right. And Tegan's back to throw. He's under heavy pressure. Tries to get away and does. He'll be close to a first down. Bring up 3rd down and roughly 3 or 4.
Yeah, we'll give him 4 on the play. And Tegan looking downfield, try to keep his eyes downfield, as that's what you want a quarterback to do, but had too much heavy pressure on him as they had a defensive end come free or a corner blitz, one or the other. And Tegan making up ground there, gains about 4 on the play, bringing down 3rd down and 3 for the Tigers.
Ball at the Tiger 48-yard line. And this time it's Augie Christensen. He has the first down and more as he gets just inside the 45-yard line.
Yeah, the offensive line is winning that battle, and it's just crazy to see the domination up front. Before anybody touches Augie, he's already 4 yards past the line of scrimmage, so nice job by those guys up front.
1st and 10 Tigers at the Hawks 45. Davis to throw. He fires, and his pass is complete to Bennett Sirens inside the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that's going to gain a good 7 yards on that gain. Nice job by Sirens there to catch the ball, and Tegan throwing the ball.
Contrast in styles here. The Tigers going with no huddle. We understand when the Hawks get it that they really like to use all of that play clock. Handoff goes to Augie Christensen, and he moves ahead and should have a first down. In fact, the chain gang is moving on down.
Yeah, they're moving the sticks. That's Augie's 3rd carry for 15 yards, and that's 2 first downs already for the Tigers early in this first quarter.
1st and 10 Princeton at the Hawks 34. Davis back to throw, fires, and his pass is complete. A nice catch by Bennett Sirens.
didn't gain a lot of yardage on that play, but it's going to set up for something down the future. And he's going to pick up about 4 yards on the play, bring a 2nd down and 6.
Gain of 3 on the play, 2nd and 7, Tigers.
Davis in the shotgun. Has 3 wide receivers to the near side of the field. And it's Augie Christensen right up the middle, and Augie has another first down as he advances the ball down to about the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that was just a little misdirection play of a fake handoff to the man in motion, which was Compton at the time, and a cross-scissors play to Augie Christensen. Gains about 12 yards on the play, brings down the 3rd rushing first down of the series here for the Tigers.
Here's the snap to Tegan Davis. He looks to throw. Now he's under heavy pressure and manages to get away momentarily. It's still going to wind up being a sack for Fairbury.
Yeah, that's just good pressure and good job by the defensive backs of the Hawks covering up everybody on the receiving side of the Tigers, and that's a coverage sack more than anything. Tegan doing a nice job avoiding the first sets of rushers, but couldn't avoid the second set.
Andy Krenz, 6'3", 210-pound senior with the sack for the Hawks. 2nd and 15, and the handoff goes to Augie Christensen, and this is going to be limited to short yardage. DJ Lewis in on the tackle for the Hawks.
Being this in 4-down territory, Norm, I think it's important to know that Tigers don't have to gain all the yardage up at one time. If they gain up half or a little more than half, I think they're going to go for it regardless. So let's see if you can get a chunk of this 3rd down yardage.
Excellent point. Davis back to throw. He fires the slant pattern. It's intercepted. It is intercepted by the Hawks, and they bring it back to about the 39-yard line.
Yeah, you got to limit your turnovers against this Hawks team. And Tegan just didn't simply see that linebacker there. It was a slant route to Sierens, and he kind of blended in back there, and Tegan didn't see him, and big interception.
So 1st and 10 for the Hawks on the turnover. Ball marked at the 37-yard line. Boy, these Hawks, they brought a spirited group of fans, Schmitty. I drove by the football field at 10:30 this morning, and there were busloads of people from Praire Central.
Yeah, they sure brought the fans, that's for sure.
And the handoff goes to Drew Fair, the fullback. And this is kind of Praire Central style.
Yeah, if they gain 3 yards, they're perfectly happy with that. And it's going to be key that the line of scrimmage is won by the Tigers here, so they can push the line back so they don't gain those 3 or 4 yards at a time like they so often do.
2nd down and 7. This time the Hawks with 3 wide receivers, man in motion. And it's the quarterback with a last-minute pitch, and it works very well. That's Tyler Curl on the carry, and that's good for a 1st down.
Yeah, they run a lot of midline, a lot of triple option there, and you saw the triple right there, and there was just a keeper by the quarterback, pitches it out to the running back, and the running back does the rest. You got to have a guy assigned to the quarterback, have a guy assigned to the pitch man, and right there the Tigers did not do that.
1st and 10, the ball at midfield. Owen Rafferty is the quarterback, and the handoff goes up the middle. That's Drew Fair, and he's going to gain about 2 on the play.
Nice job by Sayhaki reading that a little bit, and the up front lineman making the hole for Sayhaki to come in and make that tackle. I believe Payne Miller might have been in there as well, as long as with Vicarious as well.
2nd down and 8 for Fairbury at the Princeton 48-yard line. Now a penalty flag comes in. Offsides against Princeton. Wow.
Yeah, I think Vicarious was lining up offsides, and he didn't move back, didn't adjust himself, and it was pretty close, but I think his helmet might have been over the football. First penalty of the day for the Princeton Tigers.
So it'll bring up 2nd down and 3 for the Hawks as Owen Rafferty returns from the sideline with the play. And this time the pitch to Tyler Curl, and he's going to be hit for little or no gain. It'll bring up 3rd and 3.
Hockey there initially to blow up that play, and Tegan Davis there to make the tackle. So, and Augie Christensen was there as well.
Well, much as you spoke of on Princeton's opening drive, Schmitty, I would guess 4-down territory for the Hawks.
It'd be interesting to see, Norm, if they don't pick up any kind of yardage right here. It'll be interesting to see what they want to do in this position here, whether they want to go with field position or they want to go for the 1st down.
And off to Furry. Fair manages to fall forward, and he is going to be short of the 1st down.
Now the decision time is going to be made. As you see Kate Odell running in right now, going for a big package.
4th down and a yard.
The jumbo package as far as the linemen go, when you got Wicarius, Payne Miller, Bennett Williams, and Kate Odell now.
Some of the crowd here at Bryant Field beginning to stand to cheer their respective teams on. Some staccato applause. And the quarterback trying to make his way forward.
He did not get it, Norm. He is short.
That was Owen Rafferty on the carry, and yeah, it looks the way they're going to spot this ball. He did not make it. He needed the 40-yard line, and he is just short.
That's a big stop right there for the Tigers to overcome that interception early thrown by Tegan Davis. Let's see if the Tigers can get something going on the ground here and maybe ad-lib with Tegan in the air a little bit. But I think until they start stopping Augie Christensen, I think you continue to go with the norm.
Yeah, and that bodes well for Princeton that they're able to get that early stop, because what we saw from Praire Central, that is their game. Run, run, run. 1st and 10, Princeton at the 41-yard line. And it's a counter play to Augie Christensen, and give the Hawks credit. Boy, they are staunch against that run. Maybe a half a yard on the gain for Augie.
It's going to come down to a game of adjustments. Both coaches have been around this game a long time, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of adjustments both sides make. Kind of like a chess match, so to speak.
2nd down and 10 for the Tigers. Man in motion, and Davis is going to call his own number. And this is going to be a good gain for Tegan as he gets it beyond the 45-yard line.
Yeah, Tegan, that was a quarterback draw the whole way. Didn't quite get the fake like he wanted, but it's going to bring down a big 3rd down and 5 for the Tigers. Let's see if they call number 2's number or maybe even number 15's.
What wind there is blowing into the Tigers' face. I formation backfield. And the handoff goes to the last man through. That's Augie Christensen. He's going to be short of the 1st down, but it will be 4th and a yard.
I mean, there's nothing saying that the Tigers cannot get this. I assume that they're going to go for it right here.
Davis going under center on this 4th and 1 play. Once again, the I formation backfield. Long snap count. And the handoff goes to Augie Christensen. He's got a 1st down and a whole lot more. Now the ball comes loose.
Man, I firmly believe he was down too.
Well, of course, Schmitty, we don't have the luxury of instant replay. So it will be Fairbury Prairie Central's ball, 1st and 10 at the 32. A little over 2 minutes to go here in the first period. No score.
So 2 early turnovers for the Tigers right now, and let's see if the defense can hold true again.
Rafferty under center, and a late pitch to Tyler Curl, and oh my goodness, what a hit by Tegan Davis.
Yeah, Tegan's pretty excited about that play. He was at the right place at the right time. I was getting ready to say, Norm, that they didn't have a man for the pitch, but I guess Tegan was there a lot sooner than I thought he was going to be there. A loss of 1. Not a bad job by the Tigers right there.
2nd down and 11. Got an early score. Fulton 13, Ottawa Marquette 0. Thank you, Brody. And the Hawks this time with a run play that's not going to pick up much. Let's see who's at the bottom of that pile.
Drew Harp, of course.
And Camden Palmore, I believe, on the carry. 3rd down and 8 for Prairie Central.
But here's the deal: is when you see our linebackers like Saihaki and Christensen and Drew Harp getting in on tackles, Carson Etheridge getting in on tackles, it's because our defensive line is doing a great job, and that time they did a great job again.
3rd down and 8. A late pitch, and not much on this carry either. That was Camden Palmore on the carry. Going to bring up 4th down and 4 for the Hawks, and this time they are, it appears, going to punt the football.
I think it's important to know that if you can hold the Hawks into 3rd and long situations, they don't throw the ball a whole lot, so you got them in a situation they don't want to be in, Norman. That's what the Tigers did right there. Nice job by the defense, again responding to the 2nd turnover. Let's see if the Tigers can hold on the ball here next possession.
It's a low snap. The punt is away, and it is a booming punt. And with it is Matt Lucas. And Lucas makes a nice cut and is knocked out of bounds at about the 29-yard line.
Yeah, nice job by Logan Glancy, not trying to be tempted and blocking in the back there. Kind of waved his hands like, I'm not going to hit anybody. That was a good job by Logan, a good job by Matt Lucas of getting as many yards as he possibly can.
And that's a great point, Schmitty, because not saying in the case of Logan, but just in general, that happens so often, and that's good discipline on his part.
Lyle took an early lead, 7-0 over Byron, but Byron came back. It's now 7-7, and St. Bede with a little early lead right now, 6-0 over Ridgeview.
All right, thank you, Schmitty. 1st and 10 Tigers at their 29. Davis to throw. The pass is complete, and some good moves being made there. That's Matt Lucas getting close to a 1st down.
Actually, Danny Saihaki was there at the catch, Norm.
Oh, okay.
But he gained 9 yards there, and that'll be the end of the first quarter, where we have no score. Strangely enough, for us, we will. But going into the second quarter, it'll be 0-0 tied.
Again, we have Fulton leading over Ottawa Marquette, 13-0. Pat Lower up there at Fulton year after year. He does a great job, doesn't he, Schmitty?
Yeah, he's a great guy, too, Norm. Great guy.
I understand from Dave Shepard that he's quite an outstanding basketball official as well.
I always like it when he's officiating our games because you know he's going to do a good job, and you can trust him to do a good job. So,
say we have some exciting news from cross country.
Yeah, it looks like to me we had Lexi Bones. I guess she's a former Malden Musketeer. Norm.
Absolutely.
She made it to state and ran, got 72nd out of around 260 kids. So nice job by Lexi, who didn't medal but had her best time of the year. So congratulations to her and the Tigresses in the cross country. And we see you, we follow you. We appreciate you guys for working hard and all the extracurricular things that you do.
Yeah, wonderful young lady, wonderful family. So first and 10, excuse me, it is not. It's second down and 1 from the 38, and it's Augie Christensen on the carry. Going to be very close as to whether or not he got the first down.
I think he got it, Norm.
Yep, referee says chain gang, move on down. Had a lot of close calls today as far as getting a first down or coming up short, but this one is favorable for Princeton. First and 10 at the 40-yard line. Augie Christensen right next to Tegan Davis. And the handoff goes to Augie Christensen. A good burst as he gets out to about the 47 to bring up second down and 4.
Already Augie's 10th carry in today's contest for 52 yards. I have him unofficial stats, of course, but good job by the line up front again, locking the way for Augie to run.
Second and 4. What will Coach Pearson dial up on this one? Empty backfield. Davis back to throw. He fires long. He's got a man open, and it is just out of the reach of Danny Saihaki.
Had Saihaki wide open on a seam route, and Tegan's got to put a little more air on that, get a little anxious. And if he puts a little more air on that, it's hard to judge, too. You don't know how much the wind's affecting it, but a little more air on that. Saihaki's off to the races, and it's a touchdown, but it's a missed opportunity for the Tigers, and now it's third down and 4.
Will the Tigers go to the air again? 2 wide receivers to the far side of the field. Man in motion. And Tegan's going to call his own number. Kind of running out of room there by the sidelines, but looks like he got the first down. And he did.
Needed 4, got all of 4, and got the first down. Big first down pickup by Tegan. Looked like he was going to be stopped short of the play. But simply out-muscled the defense of the Hawks to gain those 4 yards. And that's what he needed right there for the first down.
Tigers have been hurt on their opening drives by turnovers. They had an interception and a fumble. We'll see if they can avoid that this time as they have it first and 10 at midfield. Now Davis rolls to his right. He fires, and the pass is complete to Bennett Sirens. He escapes a tackle, and Sirens gets it all the way down to about the 27-yard line before he's knocked down by Drew Fair.
A 22-yard catch for Sirens right there. And the Tigers are Tigers got the Hawks on the rope, so to speak.
They mark it at the 28, first and 10. And it's Logan Glancy on the sweep. He's tremendously fast, and a good run by Logan Glancy as he gets to within a couple yards of a first down.
Yeah, Glancy showing some patience right there. I thought he was going to try to bust it outside, but saw Sirens having the block for him ahead of him. Cuts inside of Sirens and gains another 3 or 4 yards for an 8-yard gain to bring it second down and 2 for the Tigers.
Brody Anderson, our associate producer, last week probably had on all the coats he could stand. This week he's here in the booth with a T-shirt doing the job. Second and 2 from the 20. And now a flag comes in. Illegal procedure against Princeton. Yeah, all kidding aside, Schmitty, what a job by Brody and Steve Gray last week, having to endure that wind and rain and cold. They enabled a lot of people to be able to watch the game.
Yeah, absolutely. We really appreciate that, Brody, more than you know.
Yeah.
We give you a hard time all the time, but you guys do a great job.
Second down and 7 for the Tigers. The ball at the 25. This is Augie Christensen. Boy, he gets a great burst when he gets that ball, and he gets close to the 20-yard line.
I think he made up that whole that penalty and then some, bringing a third down and 2. Nice job by Augie.
I don't know, Schmitty. I think I'd be tempted to just give it to him again.
Ridgeview just taking the lead all of a sudden over at St. Bede's 7-6.
All right, so a tight one there. Davis, quick pass. It is complete to Bennett Sirens, and they're going to have the first down and a lot more than that. Sirens with some nifty footwork. It's down around the 10-yard line.
I think they can. Nope, it is going to be first and goal at the 10. I thought they were going to give them enough for a first down, but we got an equipment timeout maybe. That's Bennett's fourth catch for 43 yards. And looks like it's going to be Teagan's fifth completion. So he's 5 for 7 for 52 yards.
And Brody informs us that Fulton, the Steamers up on Ottawa Marquette, 20-0. Now Teagan Davis on the keeper. He's got a good gain down inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, Teagan did a nice job faking. Augie did a nice job carrying on his feet because I thought Augie had the ball. And Teagan kept it, ran to the far sidelines and picks up 5 yards. So your second and goal on the 5 with 8 minutes to go and counting in the second quarter.
I don't want to jinx him, but my advice at this point, hang on to that football.
I agree.
I formation backfield. And it's Augie Christensen up the middle. He's very close, but not in.
One more of those, I think he's got it in. That gives him another 3 yards. He's got 60 yards so far early on in this contest. And the line doing a great job. They're up right now, ready to go.
Third and goal from the 2. I formation once again. Christensen once again, and the Hawks stop him. Little or no gain on that one.
We're going to give him a loss of 1 right there. Here's a big fourth down. I like the call, but the Hawks were there to stop it.
Do you consider bringing Steven Benavidez in and getting 3 on the board?
No, I think you go for a touchdown here. I think, you've done a nice job so far of gaining 3-4 yards at a time. You only need 3 right here. I'd call number 2's number.
Once again, it is the I formation, a pitch to Christensen. Does he get in? Yes, he does. Augie Christensen from 3 yards out with the first score of the day with 6:39 to go in the second period.
That was a simple pitch to the far sidelines, and Augie saw a seam, hit that seam, ran as fast as he could. He runs hard to tackle him right at the first initial hit. Gets a touchdown. 6-0 Tigers pending the extra point. Looks like we got an injured Tiger on the field.
Well, I have to give Fairbury Praire Central a lot of credit. That defensive line of theirs, they are a double tough group. And it looked like Augie initially on that run, Schmidt, it appeared to me he was having a little trouble with his footing, but after a couple steps was able to get up enough of a head of steam to get in. Trying to pick up who that injured player is for the Tigers. Do you have it, Schmitty? Up here.
I think it's going to be Matt Peacock. I think it's 68.
All right. Well, we wish him well. And now Steven Benavidez is on, but he's not kicking for 3. He's kicking for 1.
Quick score update, Norma. Byron takes the lead 14-7 over Lyle.
All right, thank you for that. Benavidez, who's been outstanding this year on PATs. And this, no exception. The kick is good. And Princeton's lead over Fairbury Praire Central is 7-0.
Special shout out to our sponsors for today's game. Michlig Energy, Midland Bank, Princeton Redi, Crete, Becks, and Central Bank.
Yes. Without them, this broadcast is not possible. And, of course, they were on board last week. We got an early report with Amboy and Milledgeville.
Amboy up 8-0 over the Milledgeville Missiles.
Yes.
Look at me go.
In fact, there's a rocket in front of the high school there in Milledgeville.
Hey, what happens when a missile and a pretzel collide? Something to think about.
I was thinking sawdust. But at any rate, the Tigers set to kick off, leading 7-0. Just a beautiful November Saturday afternoon here in Princeton, Illinois. Bennett Williams to kick off. He'll have the wind at his back, so spirited student section down behind the end zone. And Williams' kick sails to about the 12-yard line. Here come the Hawks on the return.
Number 89 for the Tigers there in the tackle, Arthur Burden. He's just a freshman, and he runs down and makes a nice tackle. Him and Logan Glancy there for a nice job by the kickoff team to create a first down and 10 for the Hawks at the 26-yard line, we'll say.
Arthur Burden, of course, former Malden Musketeer.
I got you, Norm. I got you.
Performed very well for the red and white. That was Drew Fair on the return for the Hawks. As Owen Rafferty goes under center. Praire Central yet to pass, and they still have yet to pass. And Fair is hit after a short gain.
Well, I think they got that triple option figured out, and I think it's Tegan Davis's responsibility for that pitch man. As you've seen him made two big tackles from that safety position already. So good job by that young man, and good job by the Princeton coaching staff to adjust to that triple option. Just a great job.
Looks like the winds are blowing the right way for the Abington Avon Tornadoes.
Yeah, the Avon Tornadoes up 16-0 over Iroquois West.
All right, and that's Brody's excellent work. Thank you, Brody. Second down and 8 from the 29. And this time it's Palmore with the carry. Picks up about 3 yards. It'll bring up third down and 5.
Coach Foe's reporting where Grant's playing. Grant's playing today at Upland, Indiana, where the Indiana Wesleyans are up on their rival Taylor, 37-0 at half. So keep it up, Grant. We see you. Thanks for the update, Coach Foes, and have safe travels back.
Third down and 5 from the 32. The Hawks have yet to put the ball in the air, and they still haven't, and this play's not going to work. This is going to go for a loss. Augie Christensen in there on the stop, stopping Camden Palmore.
But I tell you what, that was all led by Payne Miller, who just blew that up, and it looked like the quarterback-center exchange wasn't very clean there, because it looked like he hesitated for a minute as Rafferty couldn't quite get the snap handed off, but Payne Miller and Augie Christensen, nice job, fellas.
Yeah, that front of Princeton, they are doing a great job.
I have the Hawks with just 25 yards on the ground. So
and they're going to fake this, and it is not going to work. Kate Odell, among others, in on the tackle.
And that was fair there, and he gained maybe a yard there. Nice job by the Tigers. Now that sets them up with great field position at the 32-yard line. That's what happens when you gamble. Sometimes it's a high-risk, high-reward type deal, but also it can backfire on you, and that's what happened right there with the high-risk part of it. And the Tigers take over there on the 32-yard line of their own territory. And
credit to Coach Pearson and that coaching staff. They obviously had things well scouted. First and 10 at the 32 of the Hawks. And this is Logan Glancy on the sweep. Can he turn the corner? No, he cannot. Good pursuit by Drew Fair of Praire Central.
Fair, that's an amazing stop by that young man. He to chase down Logan Glancy like that is no feat, and he did a nice job of that.
Fulton has upped their lead even more over Marquette. It's 27-0 Fulton. Now Davis to throw, fires, and it is incomplete, beyond the reach of Matt Lucas.
Again, Lucas was open. Teagan just simply overthrew him. But here's the deal. Like, I want us to go for the big plays. I do. I really do. But you don't need them all the time. So pick and choose your spots where you're going to hit those big plays, and let's gain some chunky yardage so we can go for a fourth down and manageable fourth down here.
Third down and 14 for the Tigers. Long snap count. Now Davis going to call his own number, and he is going to be hit near the line of scrimmage and taken down. He'll bring up fourth down and long.
Just a short gain of 2 right there. And right now the Hawks are doing a nice job of helping their coach out with that call. They had a miscue on a fake punt, but right now they put Tigers in the fourth down and 13 position where the Hawks got the Tigers on their heels, so to speak.
Abington Avons went up 24-0 on Iroquois West. Yeah, as when we played ball in the backyard, everybody go out long. Here's the throw, and it is incomplete, intended for Matt Lucas.
I think the Hawks got away with one there. It looked like they held Matt Lucas there just for a minute, but that wasn't enough to be called. And that Hawks take the over on downs right there, first down and 10. So the fake punt does not come back to haunt them.
Clock a bit of a factor here, Schmitty. 3:11 to go before halftime. Of course, both teams with all 3 timeouts, but when you like to go 3 yards in a cloud of dust, it's a little bit of an issue. Brody doing an awesome job on our out-of-town scoreboard as always. Of course, St. Bede and Kewanee, 2 of our more local teams in action. Rafferty under center, and the pitch goes to Drew Fair. And Fair able to eke out a couple of yards.
Yeah, that was a wishbone formation and a simple pitch out to Fair, and the Tigers right there to stop it, bringing a second down and 7 with 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. It's going to be interesting to see if the Tigers can make a stop, maybe get the ball back and try to score before the half is out, because the Hawks do get the ball to open up the second half.
Hawks still yet to throw a pass. That's not going to change, and also the field position's not going to change a whole lot. A gain of maybe a yard on the play. Fair on the carry once again.
Yeah, big third down here for the Tigers. I think if the Tigers hold them to a 2 or 3 yard gain right here, I think Coach Pearson might want to think about calling timeout to preserve some time on the clock so they can score in the late in the second quarter.
I absolutely agree, because these Hawks, they like to burn that play clock for all it's worth, and if you don't call a timeout, it's really going to cut down on your chances to get a score. Counter play, and the Tigers are all over it. On the carry, it was Palmore.
Looks like Vicarious there on the stop, along with a host of Tigers there. And again, like we called it, it's going to be a timeout, Princeton, to preserve some time on the clock. Excellent. With just 2:07 to go, and it's a fourth down and 7 for the Hawks.
Excellent point, Schmitty. And Justin Vicarious, I mean, he had a great regular season, no question about it, but he has really upped his game in the playoffs. He is just playing tremendous.
Well, I mean, you got 3 big guys up front that can do the job, right? You got Payne Miller, you got Vicarious, and you got Bennett Williams, and sometimes Kate Odell comes in and subs in and out for those guys. But what that does is it freelances our linebackers, because as a lineman, you have to double team those guys, right? And there's only three hosses up front. When you double team them, it's going to leave a linebacker or two wide open to make a play. And we have good enough linebackers, great enough linebackers, I should say, that can make those plays. So they really work hand in hand with each other really well.
And we've got an update, Schmitty, on the Amboy Clippers game.
Yeah, Amboy up on the missiles. They're 8-6, so Amboy's flexing their muscles a little bit. Brody is all over it.
He is indeed. Not only outstanding on his job here, but no doubt Princeton High School very lucky to have him on the faculty. Punting situation. It's a good snap, and the punt's away. This one not very long, but does take a favorable bounce for the Hawks. It's picked up by Bennett Sirens, and Bennett is going to be wrapped up immediately at about the 37-yard line of Princeton.
It was a nice job by Bennett just to pick up that ball, or else it would have bounced probably another 10 yards, and he saved probably, I'm going to say, about 20 yards just in field position alone. So a good heads-up play by number 6, Bennett Sirens, and that's where the Tigers will take over and downs there at the 35-yard line with a minute 55 to go in the second quarter.
Well, this is the difference between the two teams. The Tigers have shown the ability to throw the ball. The Hawks have yet to go to the air. Davis to throw. His pass is dropped by Danny Saihaki.
Yeah, Danny just trying to run before he catches the ball. Those screen plays are tough to defend because you have two guys already blocking it. The ball's in the air, but it's also a tough play for Teagan to throw that ball right on target as much as he can, and then Saihaki has to wait for that ball, and he couldn't anticipate good enough.
Now Davis going to call his own number, and the Hawks have just been really outstanding at defending that play. It winds up being, let's see, are they going to mark it for no gain? That is pretty much the case, maybe a half yard, but call it 3rd down and 10.
Here's the deal. Teagan's got to learn just to pick a hole and run. He can't be dancing back there because the Hawks do a good job of backside pursuit. And what I mean by that is he sees a play in front of him, but the guys behind he cannot see, and that's where he's getting tackled. He just needs to pick a hole and go.
Now Davis back to throw. Tiger line doing a good job, and throw was intended for Ian Compton. It was well off the mark, but a pass interference call apparently forthcoming against the Hawks.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to call a hold or pass interference, but whatnot. They definitely caused an interruption and a route for Ian Compton.
Clock stopped with 1:10 to go before the halftime break.
It is pass interference, so that should give the Tigers a first down here, as it was 3rd and 10. That's a 15-yard penalty. That is the Hawks' first penalty of the game.
I just got a hunch that Teagan's going to connect on one of these long passes here. Davis back to throw, rolls. Now he's going to pull it down and run. And Davis has a first down and more, knocked out of bounds. That'll stop the clock, and another first down.
You see the difference there, Norm? He was so decisive right there. He didn't have to pick and choose. He knew the hole he was going to hit it as hard as he could, and then just try to outrun everybody. And that's what he's got to do more of here the second half as we come up to a minute to go in the second quarter.
Excellent point. Clock stopped with 1:02 to go. 1st and 10 at the Hawks' 38-yard line. Davis rolls to his right, gets rid of it, and the pass is complete. Ian Compton hauls it in at about the 18-yard line, and now a penalty flag comes out, and not sure what this is going to be.
Sideline warrant there. Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the Tigers. They got it.
So maybe some sort of taunting after the catch. That's all I can surmise. And Schmitty, you can't have that.
No, you just hurt your team, right? You just hurt your team by doing that. I mean, you can't do that.
1st and 10 at the 34 for Princeton. 55 seconds to go before halftime. And now it's Ian Compton on the carry. Nice move. And Compton is taken out of bounds, so that should be a positive thing. That'll stop the clock with 48 seconds to go in the first half.
Good job by Bennett Sirians leading the blocking there for Ian Compton.
Tiger lead is 7-0, but they'd like to go in at the break, leading 14-0. Can they do it?
Tigers still have 2 timeouts, 48 seconds. Clock is not moving because Compton was out of bounds.
So excellent point. They don't have to necessarily run plays to the sidelines. They can run it up the middle. And Davis is going to do just that. And look at the way Teagan's navigating downfield. It is a touchdown. Touchdown Teagan Davis from 28 yards out. 40 seconds to go before halftime.
Well, Teagan's too good to hold him down the whole game, Norm. You were just waiting to see when that was going to happen, and Teagan picked his number right there. It was a good job. He's the best athlete on the field, and he showed it right there. And big-time players make big-time plays. Picked his teammate up for that taunting call and gets a touchdown, and the Tigers are up on the board by 2 scores, which is so much bigger than what you can even know.
Steven Benavidez on for the kick. Ian Compton the holder. And we wait for the signal. This one is wide, and so the score is Princeton 13 and Praire Central 0. And Brody's got an update for us. Amboy out in front of Milledgeville, 14-6. Thanks, Brody. You know, Schmitty, talking about Amboy, one of my favorite places to watch a high school football game. They have that clipper ship that goes down the track after they score a touchdown.
That's good, Norm, because whenever I went against Amboy, I couldn't stand that ship.
Right. Fulton has a similar
Yeah, I
type
couldn't
deal.
stand that boat either.
Yeah.
Just being honest here. I mean,
of course, they're
I mean, if I was a fan of them, I'd probably be like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But being not a fan of them, it's not very cool.
Yeah. Back in the day, though, boy, Bureau Valley and Amboy Lamoille, there were some great games between those two teams. Amboy, of course, went to the conference to the north, and they have found that there's some good competition up there to be for sure. But nonetheless, in the playoffs, and of course, they're playing 8-man football. We should point that out.
Well, after after Lyle took that 7-0 lead, Norm, Byron scored 28 straight. It's 28-7 Byron over Lyle. Is that the Cardinals? Lyle, the Cardinals? Forreston's the Cardinals. Yeah, I don't know.
Brody's going to check that out for us on the IHSA website as Bennett Williams set to kick off. As the wind to his back does Bennett Williams and gets that kick down to the 10-yard line. And it's Palmore on the return. He's got big yardage and a good tackle.
Ace Christensen.
Oh, boy. Never know. He might have saved a touchdown. And Brody suspected that Lyle is the Tigers, and he is absent. Wait a minute. Byron's Tigers. Yeah. I was sure on Byron. That much I knew. Just 32 seconds left. It'll be interesting, Schmitty, to see how aggressive the Hawks are here. Down 14-0 are the Hawks. Looks like they were planning on throwing the football, but penalty stops the play. Thank you, Brody. So Lyle is the Lions. That's going to be a great matchup, a battle of the big cats. The Lions and the Tigers.
I was close. Cardinal, Lion, pretty similar. said no one ever.
First and 15 now for the Hawks. And if they thought the pass was an element of surprise, it's not now. 31 seconds remaining. Tigers hoping for a turnover. Rafferty under heavy pressure. Rafferty's going to run. He's headed to the sideline. And he's knocked out of bounds by Carson Etheridge.
We'll give him 8 on the play.
I was glad Carson took it easy on him because could have been an unnecessary roughness.
I agree, and that's a tough play for a kid to lay up on, too. Like, you got all your momentum going forward. You're just thinking about tackling them, but that's a heads-up play by Carson Etheridge. That's a nice job by you, Norm, pointing that out.
Well, and, also in high school you've got, about a 4-inch wide line. It's not like in the pros where that white line is 3 feet wide. And now the quarterback, Rafferty, gets tripped up by one of his linemen.
Well, I think that's because Big Payne Miller, number 75, shoved the lineman back, and he just tripped over his own lineman. Now it's timeout by the Hawks.
Payne Miller, he seems like the type of player that John Madden would just love. He'd take that telestrator and draw a picture of the line and say, look at Payne Miller, boom!
Yeah, maybe we can ask for a telestrator for next year. We can draw it up.
I'll tell you what, Steve Morton, Brody Anderson, Steve Gray, they've got about every other thing, and they are very good at using whatever is available. They just do such a great job, and I tell people that all the time. They're the ones that deserve the credit.
Reed Custer up over Clark 20-6.
Remember, we played Reed Custer in the postseason in basketball a few years ago. Scored a victory over him.
We like victories.
18 seconds to go before halftime. Princeton leading 13-0. Let's see what the Hawks dial up here. Late pitch, and it is Fair being hit for a loss. Clock is down to 7 seconds, and that could do it for the first half.
Well, that's a nice job by the Tigers. They had a guy for the quarterback and a guy for the pitchman, just what we talked about in the first quarter. Executed it perfectly, and the Tigers will go in the locker room with a 13-0 halftime score.
And we do have a couple of updates. Fulton was leading Marquette 27-0. Marquette's on the board 27-7 is that Fulton lead. And Iroquois West had been being shut out, but now Abington Avon leads 24-8. We also have Amboy leading Milledgeville 14-6. Well, unlike last week when we had the playoff game, the weather's perfect, the band will perform, the Palms will perform, and of course we will bring that to you along with a halftime guest or two. We'll also have Schmitty with his stats, and as he's been doing all day long, Brody will keep us informed on the out-of-town scoreboard. But for right now, we're going to turn it over to the PHS Band.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to Bryant Field the Princeton High School Marching Tigers. Halftime entertainment. The PHS Band is returning to a tune that we played earlier this season. This iconic piece of classic rock came to us from the minds of Mick Jagger and Keith Richards in 1966. We open with a short call, and then the drums take over as we rock it to Paint It Black. fans, welcome to the field, the Princeton High School Palm Squad. Under the direction of Ms. Abby Cochran, co-captains Maggie Davis and Kennedy Clumping. Tonight's palm routine is from our third game of the regular season. This classic takes us back even further, but in a much lighter vein. First recorded by Bill Haley and his Comets in 1954. This is Rock Around the Clock.
We're back at halftime, and the Princeton Tigers leading over the Praire Central Hawks by a score of 13-0. The Tigers with two scores, both coming in the second period with 6:39 to go before halftime. It was Augie Christensen on a 3-yard run. Stephen Benavidez added the kick, and that made it Princeton 7 and Fairbury Praire Central nothing. And then with just 40 seconds to go before halftime, Tegan Davis with a 28-yard touchdown run. PAT kick was wide, and that's where we stand. It is 13-0 with Princeton leading over the Praire Central Hawks. A number of area playoff games today. St. Bede at Colfax Ridgeview, Fulton at Ottawa Marquette, and Lena Winslow at 6 o'clock tonight plays at Forreston. Those are all 1A games. 2A games include Wilmington 10-0 at Newman 7-3. That's a 3 o'clock start. Erie Prophetstown 8-2 at Bishop McNamara 6-4. Dare Creek Mackinac at Towns Tri-Valley. Tremont at Farmington. Lyle at Byron. Chicago Phillips at Kewanee. And we'll just stop right there with the list of playoff games because we have a very special guest, and it's Katie Bates. Katie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
How's the atmosphere been at school? I imagine everybody's been pretty fired up about playoff football, huh?
Yes, it's been amazing.
And certainly a double blessing to have such a beautiful day, huh?
Yes, the weather is amazing.
And you're sitting out there, I assume, perfectly comfortable, huh? With the
Yeah,
Redi on?
I was almost getting hot too.
Of course, the season for the volleyball squad came to an end, and I know, especially right after it happens, a crushing defeat. But yet, I think now with a few days passed by, you can look at the big picture, and you got to feel pretty good about things.
Yes, for sure. It was a rough few days after the loss, but now looking back, we have nothing to be ashamed of, for sure.
And it was Macomb. That was a team you had lost to before, and you were that close, right? 1 point.
Yes, we were very close.
And Katie, I know that when spring comes around, it'll be softball. Now, do you play a winter sport?
I do not.
Okay, so as part of that, you just kind of get ready for softball, take all the batting practice you can, and so forth.
Yes, for sure.
I wanted to ask you. Of course, you are a veteran softball pitcher, so to say. During the warm-ups, do you just warm up, or are you using strategy? Maybe a pitch that you're having a little trouble controlling. Do you use that time to try and master it?
Yeah, for sure. Pretty much by the end of my warm-up, or even like after the first inning or two, I pretty much know what pitches are working and what pitches aren't. So it's good to get the feel for each pitch and know what I want to throw during that game.
Absolutely, and I know we probably talked about this before, but it's always interesting. What classes are you taking now?
I am in accounting, athletic PE, sociology, calculus, dual credit English, human anatomy and physiology, concert choir, and Spanish 4.
Wow, I don't know how anybody can fit all that in. Now for sociology, do you have Mr. Anderson for a teacher?
I do.
And you can be honest with us. How's that working out?
It's honestly a lot of fun.
Yeah, I am not the least bit surprised. And when it comes to math, now I never took calculus. What sorts of things? I don't even know what you do in calculus. What sorts of things do you figure out?
We're doing a lot of stuff with derivatives and pretty much derivatives. We've been doing that for a lot. Finding different derivatives with different rules and just lots and lots of numbers.
And then what was the foreign language you were taking?
Spanish.
And is it Spanish 1 or?
I'm in Spanish 4.
So this is your 4th year of it. So
yes.
Could you give us some description? Of course, Princeton's leading 13-0, or Princeton's playing a great game. Tell us something in Spanish.
Oh no, you're putting me on the spot right now. Princeton es extravagante.
And you just said what?
Princeton is extravagant.
But if you could translate that, extravagante.
Yeah. You could do lots of things. Yes, es bueno. They're doing good.
Yeah, I remember when we had in 7th grade, they taught us just, like how to count. Muy bien, isn't it?
Muy bien?
Yeah,
very good.
Very good. So,
they're doing very good, for sure.
How about 13? Do you know 13 in Spanish?
I do. That is trece.
And how about 0?
Cero.
All right, so it's trece to Cero.
Yeah, that's for sure. No me gusta Hawks. I don't like Hawks.
Oh my goodness. And that's from Brody. So what about college? I believe I read somewhere you're looking at going to St. Ambrose.
Yes, that is definitely number 1 on my list right now.
And if you go there, is the plan then that you will play softball?
I'm thinking volleyball right now.
Okay, well, obviously you had a tremendous season in that.
Thank you.
Yeah, volleyball is just a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yes, the energy is really cool.
I'm amazed at how many, I'll talk to somebody who's real good, like in girls basketball or whatever, and you ask them, what's your favorite sport? And it's volleyball. Now, you also are involved as an assistant coach for Logan Junior High softball. So what types of mentoring do you try to provide there?
Well, I did it the years past. I mainly worked with the pitchers and just like getting like technique down, the whole idea that comes with the physical part of pitching. But honestly, we talked a lot about the mental part of pitching because that's almost as important as the rest of it. But just a lot on that part of the game.
How old were you when you could actually throw underhand and have the ball go somewhat fast?
I've been pitching for as long as I can remember, but when I finally was able to actually throw strikes, probably 7 or 8.
Wow, that is amazing. And you talked about the mental aspect of pitching. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Just being involved in every single play that happens in softball and pretty much being in control of what happens, it helps a lot to be strong mentally and just be focused on what you're doing and to be confident, and it's very important to have that mental part when you're a pitcher.
And I would guess, at the varsity level of high school softball, I mean, you can't throw them all down the middle, can you?
No, that's for sure.
So it's a matter of changing speeds, changing locations.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, is strike one a big deal? You like to get out in front?
Yes, 100%. Strike one is what you're aiming for.
Did you, you would have missed out on her in terms of, she was, I think, out of high school by the time you started. Did you ever see Rena Barroso pitch for Hall?
The name sounds familiar, but I don't know.
She went to IVCC, and ironically, she played shortstop. They never had her pitch, as far as I know. But she could throw a changeup, and I mean, that ball was like a styrofoam cup in the wind. It just went, but I think she had an ERA one year of under 1. It was,
oh my goodness!
Yeah, like 0.6. So
that's very good.
She was amazing. What would you say that you're more of a finesse pitcher, or more of a power pitcher, or a little bit of both?
Honestly, it probably depends on the day. I rely a lot on my spin pitches, but sometimes I can bring it.
Yeah, and I think one thing that people may not realize is just how tough the competition is.
Mm-hmm.
There just aren't any sure wins out there, are there? There are a lot of good teams. I mean, St. Bede seemingly is always really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Rock Ridge, I mean, the games I've been to, you're facing a lineup of cleanup hitters, even when you face that number 8 hitter. So looking ahead to this spring, of course, we'll have yourself. Mackenzie Heck should be back, I take it.
Yeah.
Who will be some of the other, stalwarts of the Princeton softball team this spring?
Olivia Alter.
Catcher, right?
Yes.
And a very good one.
Yes. Hannah Michlig, who's an outfielder for us.
And every time I look at the box score, she's like 3 for 4, 2 for 3.
Yes, she's very good at the plate. Libby Boyles, Taylor Wetzel, Abby Peterson. Those were the girls last year, so hopefully they'll come out again.
Absolutely. And it'd be nice if we have weather like this for softball. That's not always the case, is it?
No, it is not. You never know when it comes to March weather.
They call it Little Siberia for a reason, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Well, Katie, I appreciate you coming up. Believe it or not, a little over 2-3 weeks we'll be playing basketball, and we'll have you up again. It's always a pleasure. But I'll let you get back to you having a blast with your friends today watching the game.
Yes, it's been super fun.
You know what? Enjoy it, because it's fun when you come back after you graduate, but it's never the same as when you're a part of the student body.
Yeah.
All right, Katie. Well, I'll let you get back to your friends, but thanks so much for the interview.
Thank you.
All right. That is Katie Bates. Always a pleasure to talk to Katie. Schmitty's going to come on board and give us some halftime stats. I see Brody has an update of Milford leading over the Polo Marcos 6-0. And Amboy has opened up the lead on Milledgeville 22-6. Abington Avon all over Iroquois West 32-8.
And Reed Custer 28-6 over Clark.
All right. We are ready to kick things off, so Schmitty, we'll get those stats in there.
I'm
Bennett
not worried
Williams
about it.
set to kick off. A deep kick, and the Hawks bobble it momentarily. That ball is loose at the 8-yard line, and the Hawks are in a whole lot of trouble as their return is only going to amount to about the 14-yard line.
Good job by Brady Byers and Andrew Peacock there with the stop, but I think the sun had a little bit to do with that a little bit, as the sun's facing right in the eyes of the Hawks there, and he just kind of misplayed that ball. That's not what you want to do to start off. You're a Hawks fan, but as a Tiger fan, we'll take it.
Give us what have the Hawks done on the ground, Schmitty?
Total yards for the Hawks so far, I have unofficially as 32 yards total on the ground.
Wow, so that's a winning formula.
And that's 32
for
yards
Princeton.
total for offensively, period.
Wow. Yeah, because, of course, none through the air. And the Hawks going to keep it on the ground here. Notice some of the linemen even pushing the ball carrier forward. Fair on the carry, gets about 5.
That might be their longest run of the game besides that pitch to Curl. That is their second longest run of the game, and he's got 15 yards for the game.
2nd and 5 for Praire Central at their own 19-yard line. Tigers would like to make them have to punt the ball and wind up with some excellent field position. Rafferty under center. Rafferty still has it, and he is drugged down in the backfield by Logan Glancy. Did that ball come out, Schmitty?
I think he's pointing them down on the ground, but the ball did come out, Norm, to answer your question, but I think they called him down on the ground, and the Hawks come up with a big break right there.
Justin Vicarious and Ian Compton in on the tackle. And this is not where the Hawks want to be. 3rd down and 9 from their own 15.
Erie Prophetstown over Bishop Mack right now, 7-0.
So good job by the Panthers. Palmore with the carry. He's tight roping that sideline, but
there's a flag down.
Did he get enough? Yeah, that flag is going to be so crucial. So we'll wait and sort this out.
Should be.
Looks like holding against the Hawks.
Wow, this is not what the Hawks want coming out with this opening possession.
And that's a 10-yard penalty. Just the Hawks' 10-yard third penalty on the game for 30 yards, but that's a big one right there, Norm. Now that brings it down to a 3rd down and 14 situation for the Hawks. And
of course, bear in mind, they have not completed a pass all day long.
Yeah, right.
I wonder if the Tigers will bring extra pressure here. Rafferty actually going under center. It's a pitch play. Pretty much the play they ran the last play. That's Palmore getting to the outside, but he is not going to have the first down.
we'll give him 10 on the play.
Fourth and 4. Of course, the Hawks tried a fake punt earlier, and the Tigers able to stuff that. There is a, Smitty, look at, there's a wide man. Now Logan Glancy is following him. I thought, oh my goodness, don't leave somebody unguarded. Here's the snap. It's a good one. And the punt is away. It's high. Look at that wind just knock it down, though. Tigers get away from it wisely. And the ball is going to be down at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, good field position there for the Tigers.
Brody Rody's got an update here. Polo and Milford locked up in a 6-6 tie. Polo earlier had held a 6-0 lead.
Just a shout out to all those farmers that are working in the fields today, Norm. They're listening in and watching us, and we appreciate them guys on a daily basis and the work that they put in to provide the food on our tables year in and year out. So salute out to those farmers out there.
Excellent point, and be careful driving those country roads. You never know what's going to be on the other side of that hill or that curve. Davis calls his own number. Nice gain on first down. About 3 or 4.
Again, look how decisive Davis was there. I mean, that's the key to his running game. He's got to be decisive. He's got 60 yards on the ground so far. Augie leading the team with 62 yards.
Now it's Davis on the carry, and it looks like he's going to have a first down. Abington Avon's opened it up on Iroquois West 40-8. Colfax leading St. Bede 19-13.
Hey, I got the opportunity. Coach Foes wanted me to give a shout out to Hayden Welty. Hayden Welty is a kid that is a PHS alumni.
Yes.
And he plays for Texas Tech. And shout out from Coach Foes and Coach C. So Hayden, we're all rooting for you as well.
1st and 10 Tigers at the 35 of the Hawks. Davis back to throw. He has plenty of time. He lets it go towards the end zone, and it is incomplete down near the goal line, intended for Ian Compton.
That time, the throw was right on the money, and Ian heard some footsteps there from some Hawks, but couldn't come up with the play. Nonetheless, perfectly thrown ball. Ian will come up with that next time. 2nd down and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Milford now up on Polo 12-8. $13-0 in favor of Princeton with this methodical Hawk offense. Who knows? One more touchdown might just about lock the door.
It'll make it awfully tough for him, that's for sure.
Augie Christensen, look at Augie, up the middle, tremendous burst. He is going to be short of the first down.
I love the way that young man runs, don't you, Norm? I mean,
absolutely.
He runs with that burst of energy, and the line doing a great job again up front. You got Vicarious there, Drew Harp, 76 is Jacob Ailey, 68, he's back in the game, Matt Peacock. I'll catch the rest of them here in a minute. 3rd
down and 2, Tigers obviously in 4-down territory. Davis going to call his own number. He's got the first down with some nifty footwork, and he's down to about the 20-yard line.
So after that touchdown run late in the second quarter to get him going, he's really picking and choosing his lanes, and he's been running a lot better.
1st and 10 Tigers at the 20, 8:06 to go, 3rd period. Princeton lead 13-0. Now it's Augie Christensen. Augie to the 15, to the 10, inside the 10, down to about the 8-yard line.
We'll give him 12 on the play and another Tiger first down. And right now that offensive line is wearing down the defensive line. Shout out to number 56, Brady Piacenti as well. He's the center for the Tigers offensive line. So I just want to get those guys' names mentioned because they do a lot for this offense, and they don't get as much recognition as the other guys do.
I formation backfield. Christensen gets the call, and the Hawks this time able to put a stop on Christensen immediately. DJ Lewis in on the tackle.
Yeah, just a good job by the defense of the Hawks coming through. Ridgeview up on St. Bede 19-13 right now.
We haven't heard anything on Kewanee, have we, Rodi? Okay. Oh, okay. Kewanee's a little later start. Thank you. Now Christensen on the carry. And once again, the Hawks coming up with a stop. Little or no gain on that play.
I'll give him a gain of 2 there, bring a 3rd down and 8, 3rd down and 9, but Bishop McNamara tied it up on EP 7-7 right now. Tigers take a timeout, want to go over a big 3rd down and 9 opportunity. So, we got some area alumni coaches coaching in the playoffs right as we speak. Norm, if you don't mind, I can go ahead, and shout them out. So, of course, Coach Vajana here at Princeton High School. Matt Seidel is at Morris. Aaron Town, he's around my age, I believe. Grays Lake Central. Aaron was a good trackster at PHS. Todd Stevens at Washington. And not in the playoffs is Garrett Youngren at Harvard, Brent Becker at Stevenson, and Chris Walker, who's coaching in Ottawa. So a shout out to Chris Walker for giving me that information, and I appreciate that. We do have a score on Kewanee. They are down 8-0 as we speak, so I appreciate that.
Kewanee last week advanced in the playoffs with a 40-yard field goal with 3 seconds left.
How about that? That was pretty crazy, isn't it?
It is indeed. All right, well, let's see what Coach Pearson dialed up during the timeout.
Somebody go down there. Look at the guy in the field. What are you
Spirited crowd here at Bryant Field. 3rd down and 9 from the 9.
This guy's yelling about you just passed out.
Stoppage in play.
Looks like we got a young man down for the Hawks on the sidelines that Maya just went down on his own, and got the trainer coming over for the Tigers.
Well, certainly a most unfortunate situation here, and we do wish the best.
Yeah, we hope he's okay. Looks like he's responsive there, at least on the sidelines. So, you want to mention the sponsors for tonight's
Certainly.
game while we're thinking about it, Norm?
Yeah. We have for our sponsors, Midland Bank, Michlig Energy, Princeton Redi, Crete, Becks, and Central Bank. And it's because of their support we're able to bring you these playoff games.
Just had a delicious hot ham and cheese up here in the press box from Becks. So if you guys are out there hungry and out and about, grab yourself a sandwich there at Becks. They're pretty darn good.
And Brody, well, you know what? I'm just go down the list here. Now, let's see. We have Colfax leading St. Bede 19-13. I believe Kewanee was down, right, Schmitty? In their game?
8-0.
Fulton over Ottawa Marquette 27-7. Erie Prophetstown and Bishop Mack tied up at 7 apiece. Amboy over Milledgeville 22-6. Abington Avon, the Tornadoes over Iroquois West 40-8. Abington Avon, by the way, undefeated. And Milford leading Polo 14-8. And you can see the young man for the Hawks is being assisted to his feet.
Updated score in Byron 34-7 up over Lyle. So that game's over, but the scream and shout.
Yeah, and Byron came into that game undefeated, and it doesn't look like things are going to change. Garrett Steidinger is the player that is being let some assistance. Third down and 9, a big 3rd down and 9 for the Tigers. Davis in the shotgun. He has Augie Christensen to his immediate right. And Davis looks to throw. He rolls, fires to the corner of the end zone, and it's out of the reach of Bennett Sarens. It'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, Teagan just throwing it a little bit quicker than what he wanted to, as DJ Lewis was there in the backfield to cause that errant throw. But Teagan wanted to, that was a long route to develop from Bennett Sarens, first of all. Looked like a fake slant, almost like a Z route, a fake slant and back the other way. Couldn't quite get his feet set to get that throw off. But a nice job by the Hawks on sniffing that play out. Brings on a big 4th down here for the Tigers. See what happens.
This time, Davis goes under center, I formation backfield. And Davis looks to throw it, pretty much the same play, diving attempt, and unable to come up with it. I believe that's Logan Glancy, isn't it, Schmitty?
Yeah, it was Logan Glancy. And again, Teagan throwing the ball a little sooner than he wanted to. Pressure there by number 64 there, Connor Stedinger. And that's a big fourth down stop by the Hawks, and they take over on downs. Down 13-0 with 6:35 to go in the third quarter. See if the Tigers' defense can respond.
Would have been interesting if the Tigers would have had 14 instead of 13. You know, then if Benavidez kicks a field goal, it makes it a 3-score game. As it is, the fourth down attempt didn't work, and the Hawks have it. 1st and 10 at their own 9. Fair on the carry. Picks up about 3.
He's got 12 carries for just 18 yards.
Wow, so tough going for him. That Princeton student section behind the end zone, they are doing all they can to exhort on this Tiger defense. 2nd down and 7. And the Hawks try to keep it on the ground, and this is not going to work whatsoever.
Carson Etheridge, Bennett Williams, and a host of Tigers there, and they're just getting off the ball quicker than what the Hawks are, and the Hawks know the snap count, so that's a big problem for the Hawks.
And Payne Miller also in there taking care of business. It'll be 3rd down and about 7 for the Hawks. Hawks do not have a pass completion all day long. And guess what? They still don't. And we've got a sack. Payne Miller's in there, and Schmitty, who else? We had
Payne Miller, Logan Glancy, and a host of Drew Harp. That's a big play by the Tigers to bring down a 4th down and 9 situation, a loss of 2. And right now the Tigers are just dominating that line of scrimmage up front.
The Hawks did try to fake a punt earlier. It didn't work, and one would think almost assuredly they wouldn't try to fake this one. Here's the kick. It's into the wind. Look at the way the wind just knocks that down. Fair catch called for and made by Matt Lucas.
Yeah, that wind just kills that football up in the air, doesn't it, Norm?
Yeah, and I'm sure the fans can notice it on TV. Milford is up their lead on Polo, 20-14. Milford in the lead.
So 4 minutes to 29 seconds to go in the third quarter, and the total offense for the Hawks is just 44 yards with 1 first down.
Yeah, Tiger defense. You knew if Princeton was going to win that they would have to answer the call, and I would say they have done that and some. Davis takes the shotgun snap and the handoff to Augie Christensen, and Augie is brought down at about the line of scrimmage by Drew Fair.
I will say this. I'll give credit to the Hawks. Their defense has answered the bell here in the second half so far. They're doing a really nice job of stopping the Tigers. They might give up a few big plays here and there, but Tigers right now have not capitalized on this field position.
Fulton is up their lead on Ottawa Marquette, 34-7. So thank you for that, Brody, as Teagan Davis calls his own number. And just what you're talking about, Schmitty, the Hawks, no slouch on the defensive side. Drew Fair on the tackle, just a short gain for Teagan Davis.
Yeah, Fair is just an animal right there on that defensive side of things and causing havoc. And right now we just need a big play, a first down here to keep this drive going. Doesn't have to be all the 7 yards or 8 yards they need, but it needs to be the majority of it.
Davis back to throw, gets rid of it. Here's the toss, and it's knocked up in the air, ricochets, and actually hits Matt Lucas on top of the head before falling incomplete.
That will bring up 4th down, Tigers.
Right now, Tegan Davis is just 5 for 15 for 72 yards thrown in the air, and just can't get anything going in the air game. And hats off to the Hawks. I mean, they're making some pressure on Tegan that caused him to throw the ball a little early, and he can't get away from pressure. And I mean, this Hawks is a formidable opponent, and they're showing their worth right now.
Absolutely. And when you think that they probably practice mainly against the run, but their pass defense has been good. Now Davis is going to call his own number, and Tegan's got the first down and more. Tegan Davis near the goal line is knocked out of bounds.
They're going to call for a late hit out of bounds too, but that's just a tough play. I mean, the kid probably didn't know that the whistle was blown. Tegan was tight roping it. He didn't really make a late hit per se, but he did hit him quite a bit while he's out of bounds. That's a 19-yard gain for Davis.
But I totally agree with you. That is a tough situation for a defensive player. You're just concentrating on making the tackle, and that thin white line sometimes just doesn't show up very well.
I mean, as a Tiger fan, you'll take it all day long, but as a Hawk fan, you're thinking, that's just not I mean, it wasn't a dirty penalty, right?
No.
You can tell a difference on a late hit
Yes.
if it's dirty or not. That wasn't dirty.
Milford up on Polo, 26-16. Tigers have it 1st and goal at the 7. Davis is going to be sacked. No, he gets away amazingly. Throws, and the pass is complete. Hauling that one in is Carson Etheridge. It'll actually result in very little gain on the play, but nonetheless, the magic of Tegan Davis.
Well, it was no gain on the play, but it could have been a big loss. So the gain was actually very good because
Tigers have been knocking on touchdowns door for a good portion of this second half and have yet to be able to punch it in. Now Augie Christensen says, I'll change that. Nope. Yes, they do. Okay. I thought he was over, and he was. It's a 7-yard run for Augie Christensen with 2:57 to go in the 3rd period to put the Tigers up 19-0. Augie's 2nd touchdown of the day.
that was just a simple handoff in the I formation up off the left guard there. It's a timeout by Princeton here. Going to go over a 2-point play. But anyways, Augie Christian showing that burst of speed, and that hole was pretty wide open by the up front of the Princeton Tigers. So nice job by them.
Really was.
Illinois football come up with a big win over Minnesota, 14-6.
Wow, that is something to talk about. And you know, Schmitty, we'll see how the rest of this game plays out. Of course, the Tigers well known for, their high scoring, 40-plus points a game. But I think, if this game were to end right now, the tale of the day has been the Princeton defense.
Oh, absolutely, Norm. You're all over that. It's, 44 yards. That's just crazy, right? 44 yards all on the ground for the total game. And we're 2:57 to go in the 3rd quarter. And so, they were up for the task. I talked to Coach Moore earlier before the game started. He felt pretty good about the game plan, and I can see why, because they were really up for the task. These Tigers are playing really hard and playing well defensively.
Rodi's got an update for us on Fulton and Ottawa Marquette.
Yeah, 40-7. You can say, drive home safely, folks. Beep, beep.
Yep, the Steamers are going to advance. Davis back to throw towards the end zone. A diving attempt, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Bennett Sirens.
Yeah, it looked like Bennett stopped his route there just for a quick second, and that probably threw that timing off a little bit, where Bennett wouldn't have had to really leap for the ball or dive for the ball there, because if he would have kept his time, it's a timing route, Norm, and it's just an out route, and if he would have just kept running instead of hesitating there, I think it would have been right on the money. Nonetheless, 2-point conversion fails. Tigers up 19-0.
And with the touchdown, that makes it a 3-score game for the Hawks to get back into it. 2:57 to go, third period.
Pretty clean game so far. We saw last week, Tigers have a lot of penalties last week. I'll get it straight here in a minute. And they really cut down on penalties this week. And we talked about that going into it, me and you on the phone over the week. And so we really got to cut down on those penalties. And right now the Tigers only got 3 penalties for 25 yards. So they have shored that up, and it's a nice job and good discipline shown by the Tigers today.
Heard from a great Tiger fan during the week, Dave Piper, former Princeton Softball League commissioner, and Dave, a big White Sox fan, of course, very happy with the Tigers' success. Schmitty, he pointed out to me the Chicago Zephyrs in the early days of Prouty Gym played a game here. The Zephyrs, a forerunner of the Baltimore Bullets and the Washington Wizards. They were led by Walt Bellamy, who in his rookie year averaged 31 points a game. Only Wilt Chamberlain did better. Now the Hawks on the return. This is Palmore on the return. He gets it out to about the 25. Augie Christensen in on the stop.
Number 60 as well as Ian Morris there on the stop. Yeah, that's good knowledge. I can imagine just you and Piper just talking, reminiscing about a lot of things back in the day with all that knowledge you both have.
Well, he also brought up about some professional wrestling that took place, the Crusher with a victory over the Yugoslavian rule breaker, Chris Markov. And the next day in the paper, there was a picture of the Crusher and the late former Princeton Police Chief George Eggers.
Huh.
1st and 10 for the Hawks.
Ball's
on the ground.
That's
and
Tigers.
The Tigers have it.
Logan Glancy there to recover that errant snap. We talked about that before. They were having some troubles with the center quarterback exchange. I think that's because of Payne Miller and the boys up front causing some, anxiety maybe?
Exactly. That's the word I was going to say, yeah. Boy, it seemed like that ball just sat on the ground forever, though, didn't it?
It did.
Usually somebody's there to gobble it up right away, but Logan Glancy coming up with the recovery.
Kiwani's down early in the second quarter, 16-0, and then EP's up over Bishop McNamara, 14-7.
Wow, great job by Erie Prophetstown. Davis going to take it himself. He gets around the corner. Look at that footwork by Tegan Davis, down to close to the 10-yard line.
That'll put Tegan over the century mark there for 110 yards on today's contest. I got first downs. I could be wrong, but I got first downs. 17 total first downs for the Tigers. One for the Hawks.
That is just absolutely astounding. Now Davis rolls to his left, fires to the end zone, and it is a touchdown.
Matt Lucas
with the grab from 10 yards out at the 2:10 mark of the third period. Stephen Benavidez on for the PAT. So far today, he is 1 for 2. Tigers went for a 2-point conversion on their other touchdown and were unsuccessful. Benavidez this time puts it right down the middle, and the Tiger lead goes to 26-0.
Gotta think that the Tigers can probably cruise on out of here with a victory. That if they keep playing the way they're playing, Norm. And man, hats off to the coaching staff right now from the Princeton Tigers, having these kids ready to play, and then the kids to execute that. a game plan to perfection, especially on the defensive end of things, overcoming two first half mistakes by an interception and a fumble. I mean, just a great way of executing there, the game plan of the Princeton Tigers overall.
Absolutely. I mean, and these kids, they're out there practicing every night after school. You know, it's an interesting thing, Schmidt. You think about it, if a team wins the championship in football, what is that, like 4 or 5 extra weeks? And the regular season is only 9 games. It's a lot of wear and tear on the body, but these kids don't mind. They love playoff football.
You know, as a former player, you know, it was nothing like playing underneath the lights on Friday nights, but, you know, just calling games as long as I have, nothing beats playoff football. The atmosphere is just an amp up from Friday night lights, you know what I'm saying? Crazy.
Here's the kickoff, and it sails all the way down to about the 2-yard line. Palmore on the return. Makes a nice move, still on his feet, and he advances it out to about the 30-yard line. As Brody points out, Amboy. And again, that's 8-man football. They are up on Milledgeville, 28-6. 4th period. Thank you, Brody.
You'd like to think at some point the Hawks got to throw the ball in the air, right? I mean, they can't just keep handing the ball off over and over again. They got to try something different. And right now, the Tigers got the Hawks right where they want them, maybe to force them to throw the ball, which they don't want to do at all.
And they seem like, Schmitty, that they have a lot of guys that play both ways. And it appears to me that the Hawks are a little fatigued, too. But that'll happen to you when you're battling a defensive front like Princeton's. Well, Rafferty is back to throw. He fires deep, and this one is intercepted by Danny Saihaki. Saihaki gets away from a tackler. Still no flags. And Saihaki really exciting this crowd. Now when the flags come flying in, down around the 26-yard line.
Yeah, that's gonna be just a late hit, leading with your helmet type of deal. That'll be an extra 15 yards for the Tigers, but you could tell that play had no chance to develop. That ball hung out in the air so long. You know, we had 3 probably Tigers back there to catch the ball in center field. Saihaki ended up with it. It's all Tigers right now, all the time.
Yeah, it sure is. Second quarter score, Milford 26, Polo 22. That 8-man football, they tend to put up a lot of points in that. So 1st and 10 for the Tigers at the Hawks 18-yard line. Wait a minute, they move it even further down after the penalty.
Can they keep going, Norm? That'd be all right.
At any rate, 1st and 10 for the Tigers. High snap, Davis able to corral it. Tries to get back to the line of scrimmage and probably going to wind up with a short loss on this play.
First errant snap we've seen in a while. The quarterback center exchange has been really, really good the last probably, I don't know, I would say six ball games probably. But
second down 11, Princeton.
But yeah, Teagan doing what he could do to get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe lost a yard on the play.
Logan Glancy is to the immediate left of Teagan Davis. Davis with the carry. Davis headed toward the pylon, and he is in. Teagan Davis, a 14-yard touchdown run with 1:04 to go in the 3rd period, and Princeton's lead is now 32-0. Tigers, in terms of actual game time, have scored with 2:57 to go in the 3rd, 2:10 to go in the 3rd, and 1:04 to go in the 3rd.
That is crazy, isn't it, Norm?
Fulton up on Marquette, 48-7, so that'll be the running clock. Benavidez on for the kick. It is good. And the Tiger lead is 33-0.
So, I mean, remember back in the second quarter where we said, the Hawks doing a really good job of containing Tegan Davis on the ground. Well, he heard us. He scored that 28-yard touchdown run, and he's been all Davis all the time since then.
What's Tegan got on the ground, Schmitty?
124 yards.
And we still have a minute left to go in the third period.
That's off of 17 carries.
So a game that at the start looked like, it was going to be a low-scoring defensive battle. One more touchdown for Princeton without the Hawks scoring, and perhaps we could have the running clock.
Got another fellow conference foe doing well as EP's up over Bishop Mack 21-7. And you got Morris tied with Morton 14-14. That's a big game. Two powerhouses usually
absolutely
in the football playoffs year in and year out.
Amboy up on Milledgeville 28-12. Thank you, Brody.
Thanks to my brother Dave Camp at home for all the football scores the last 2 weeks. We appreciate that.
Short kickoff this time, and the Hawks on the return are able to advance the ball out beyond the 35-yard line. As on the return that time, it was Hudson Alt.
That might be the best field position that the Hawks have had this third quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been playing in the shadow of their own end zone quite a bit. Third quarter score, Abington Avon up on Iroquois West, 40-16. First and 10 for the Hawks at their own 36-yard line. Up the middle it goes. Fair on the carry. He's been a workhorse. Gets about 3, so kind of a typical start for the Hawks today.
Shout out to these sponsors that bring this game to you. Central Bank, Princeton Redi Crete, Becks, Michlig Energy, and Midland Bank. We appreciate all you guys do, and the Princeton Public Schools Foundation for helping us as well. So shout out to all you guys. We appreciate everything.
Second down and 7 from the 38-yard line. Palmore on the carry. He'll leak out about another 3 or 4 yards and bring up third down and 4.
Kiwani down early 22-0. Sounds like it could get ugly.
All right, and that ends the third quarter. Our score is Princeton 33, Praire Central nothing. And we want to give a shout out to the chain gang, and that includes Chris Carr, Jeff Hunt, Jay Alter, and Jeff Lucas. And I am sure they are thankful that we have good weather today.
Yeah, they've probably been doing that for a while now, and it's not an easy job to do, and they do a pretty good job of it.
Very good indeed. Little trivia for you. This one was on Jeopardy. This precedes this NFL defensive back's name of Clinton Dix, and it's no joke.
Ha-ha.
You're right.
Who is ha-ha? Is that what it is? Who is
yeah, his grandfather used to call him that, and it stuck. Ha-ha, Clinton Dix.
I think he played for the Bears for 1 year.
Also, we want to mention the Princeton High School play, Puffs, 2-act for Young Wizards. That'll be November 12th at 7 p.m. and November 14th at 2 p.m. at the Sally Skinner Auditorium. $7 for adults, $5 for children. So that in the very near future. Now the Hawks are going to go to the air. Is it an interception? It is. Tegan Davis, the only question was whether or not his feet were in bounds. So it's going to go back to the Tigers.
Davis got his 2 feet. I didn't think he got both feet in bounds, but I say hockey with the ball pressure there, making Rafferty throw the ball a little earlier than he wanted to. Rafferty's 2 for 2 on the day, but to the wrong team.
I was just
2 INTs.
I was going to ask you what his stats were. Wow, that's a rough day. 2 passes, 2 interceptions. Tigers take over 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line. I formation backfield. And Davis looks to throw, fires long. It's intended for Bennett Sirens, and it is caught. Bennett Sirens with the catch down to around the 15-yard line. Colfax over St. B, 19-13. Oh, Fulton all over out of a Marquette, 55-7. So we can put that one to bed, I do believe.
That is a 37-yard touchdown, or not touchdown, a receiving catch from Sirens to Davis.
Now Augie Christensen, just short yardage on this carry as Travis Tratchell in on the tackle for the Hawks.
Augie knocking on the century mark with 89 yards.
And Tegan already well over it.
2nd down and 9, Tigers.
2nd down and 9 at the 14 for the Tigers. Now the Tigers keep it on the ground. That's Augie Christensen. Tries to get away, but cannot escape the grasp of Drew Fair.
Yeah, Fair, there's no quitting that kid. He's all over the field and still doing a nice job making tackles on the field.
Harry Prophetstown up on Bishop McNamara, 21-13. Polo and Milford engaged in a 32-all tie. 3rd down and 9. Davis rolls to his right. Throws, and this one attempted to be caught by Matt Lucas, but as you can see, it's out of bounds, incomplete.
That was a really good thrown ball by Tegan Davis, and he could throw it only in the spot where either his receiver comes up with it or if it's going to be an incomplete pass, and it was an incomplete pass to Lucas, but man, he did throw that right on the numbers. As the only thing Lucas could do is slide and catch it, and he just couldn't come up with it.
So the Tigers are going to take a timeout here.
Well, you can't take them with you, and Coach Pearson's used them all, so he doesn't have any timeouts left. With 10-12 to go in the 4th quarter, up 33-0. I don't think you need to save them for any reason now.
Well, we got a moment here, a little trivia on the lighter side. Brody's probably too young. But Schmitty in the cartoon Tennessee tuxedo, what was the walrus's name that was his best friend?
Never seen it. Never seen it.
Somebody up here got it. It was Chumley. There was one episode where they were working at a zoo like Niabi Zoo, and the train quit working, so they had to pull it. And Chumley goes, gee, Tennessee, you're getting to do what you always wanted to do. And Tennessee goes, Chumley, I said I wanted to be an engineer, not an engine.
The only Chumley I knew was on Pawn Stars, so I didn't know that was the name. Now it makes sense. He probably looks just like him. Morris up on Morton, 17-14, and Lyle scores again on Byron, 13. They're down trailing 34-13.
See what the Tigers came up with out of the timeout. Davis rolls to his right, being chased, throws, and it is incomplete. It'll bring up.
It is incomplete.
Was that 4, Schmitty?
Yeah, that was 4th down.
So the Hawks will take over.
that's what happens when you roll to the right and take that half a field away. You got nobody on the back side coming across because it's just a 2-receiver route. Teagan really didn't have nobody to throw it to right out the bat as the Hawks did a nice job of defending that play.
10:02 to go, fourth period. Tigers lead 33-0.
We got our folks from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania still chiming in and saying hello. We appreciate Marcy watching the cast, and keep on watching the Tigers for another week.
Certainly do appreciate that as the Hawks keep it on the ground. Is that fair again? No, it's not. It is Palmore on the carry, but nonetheless kind of what's become somewhat of a broken record here. 3 yards for first down for the Hawks. Second
yeah,
down and
unofficially
7.
I got them for 54 yards total offense right now and all on the ground, of course.
I know Brandon and Caleb Herring were watching last week in Arizona.
Yeah, shout out to Brando. He said ILL, I-N-I, Brando, I-N-I.
This time fair up the middle. Picks up about another 3 yards.
Number 35, fair on the carry. Brought down by number 23.
He's up to 26 yards in today's contest.
Well, we mentioned that the Hawks like to chew up that clock, but that doesn't work too well when you're down 33-0. But they're just trying to get established a few first downs and get a little momentum going here. Third down and 1. Rafferty going to call his own number, and he is hit immediately. May have been able to surge forward enough, though, to get the first down, and that appears to be the case.
I think that's their first down in the second half, believe it or not. Second first down in the game.
Wow, that again, we've touched on it. The Princeton defense today has just been superlative. .8:14 and counting to go. Princeton leads 33-0. Ball is fumbled, but it looks like the Hawks got it back.
Fumble on the play.
Might have gained a yard on that play just by falling forward.
Second
down and 9 from the 27.
Two of them down in the concession stand near the south end zone. Again, there's 2 cell phones down in the concession
Nancy and
stand.
Tony Hickle from Muncie, Indiana. We appreciate you guys watching as well. As Richmond Burton up all over Stillman Valley, 48-0.
Wow, and Stillman Valley is no slouch, so remember that name, Richmond Burton. Palmore on the carry, nearly has the football ripped out of his hands.
Yeah, Cy Hockey doing a nice job of not only tackling, but trying to tackle the football there, and he almost came up with it.
So third down and close to 10 to go here. Clock will dip under the 7-minute mark with Princeton leading 33-0.
Again, because of these people, we get to bring this to you guys into your homes. Michlig Energy, Princeton, Redi, Crete, Central Bank, Midland Bank, and Becks. We appreciate your guys' support for all you do.
Now a late pitch by the Hawks, but this fools absolutely no one.
Bennett Williams there initially to stop with Glancy and Compton there to fill, and that'll be no gain on the carry. So bring down 4th down and 9, and the Hawks are just going to punt the ball here.
Kewanee trailing in their game 22-0 to Chicago Phillips. Schmitty, do we know definitively? I mean, it looks fairly obvious the Tigers are going to win this. Is there any possibility that we're home next week?
I didn't think so, Norm. But I could stand to be corrected. I don't know
This is Matt Lucas on the return, and he gets it into Hawk territory.
I don't know where IC played their first game at. So, are they playing at home right now? They're playing at home right now, so I would say they probably played home.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't know.
You never know. I remember one year Chillicothe was 8-1, and in the first round of the playoffs, they had to play on the road at Mahomet Seymour, and guess what? They got beat.
Yes. I was just told if Dupeck beats IC, we will play at home. So IC loses, Princeton Tigers will be at home. Thank you, Mr. Walker, for that information.
All right, and Logan Glancy with an excellent carry. Close to a first down.
Gain of 9 on the play, second down and 1, Tigers.
Second down and a yard from the 36-yard line of the Hawks. Sterling Newman game underway. Thank you, Brody. Davis, quick flanker screen to Ian Compton, and Compton's got some room, has the first down and a whole lot more.
Tackle made by number 6, Tyler Curl.
Compton's second catch for 31 yards.
Gain of about 12 on the play, first and 10.
Advances the ball to the 25-yard line of the Hawks.
As you all know, that pass to Compton is like a run.
Erie Prophetstown and Bishop McNamara, that game now tied up at 21 apiece as Brody doing a great job on the out-of-town scoreboard. Good run this time. Logan Glancy on the carry. Going to bring up about 3 yards to go for the first down. Second down and 3.
I'd like to give a shout out to a 1970 Princeton High School graduate, Jim Holteen. He's down in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Must
Excellent.
be that has to be nice. It just sounds good.
It does, but I'll tell you what, you're not going to do much better than Princeton, Illinois today. It is Chamber of Commerce weather here. Logan Glancy up the middle, working towards the goal line. Gets inside the 10-yard line. It'll be another first down.
On the tackle. First and goal, Princeton.
Clock ticking by the time the Tigers hike the ball. We'll be close to 3 minutes to go in the game. You can see the back judge back there under the goalpost. He has yet to indicate a 5 count. Tigers get the snap off in time. It's Logan Glancy, and Glancy veers to the right. He's very close to the goal line. Comes up just short by a yard or two.
Yeah, the Hawks showing no quit as they could have easily let Glancy score that touchdown, and they didn't. They're still fighting. I mean, they're playing for a little bit of pride here. We saw how battle-tested the Tigers were there in that first half, only up 13-0. Now the Tigers did shoot themselves in the foot with a couple of turnovers early with the interception and fumble, but nonetheless did a nice job responding, and that has a lot to say about the Hawks. I mean, they came out ready to fight there in that first half.
Second and goal from the 1. Glancy up the middle, waltzes in for the touchdown at the 2:14 mark of the fourth period. Logan Glancy with the 1-yard run. And another thing, Schmitty, what about the job by the Princeton offensive line? They really asserted
just
themselves.
Amazing. I'm telling you, I'll give them the shout out again. You got Piacenti, number 56. You got Jacob Ailey, number 76, Drew Hart, number 58, Matt Peacock, number 68, and Justin Wicarius there, number 77. Just a great job up front all day long, controlling that line of scrimmage, doing what you needed to do, and then the Tigers are going to come up with a big win because of it. That is a final there, Norm. Byron does hold on by a glimpse, 34-13.
Wow. Okay, well, at least they didn't run the clock on the team they were playing. Who was that against?
Lyle.
Okay. Byron, of course, in 2 successive years in the state finals had big leads late against Monticello and Williamsville, but in both cases, they lost. Stephen Benavidez trying to make this a 40-point game. Kicks towards Crown Street, and it is good. So for the remaining 2:14, we will have a running clock situation as the Tigers lead at 40-0, and Crown Street.
You know, whenever you say Crown Street, I was going to bring that up. Whenever you say Crown Street, Brody's just got to smile from year to year because he won one of your quizzes. One.
Yep. Well, Harry Carey used to be the mayor of Rush Street. I think Brody's the mayor of Crown Street.
Crazy.
They'll have signs out in their front yard. We love Brody.
The only time I heard about Crown before that was when Dennis, what was his name? Coach from the Arizona Cardinals when the Bears came back to win.
Oh, Dennis Green?
Dennis Green, when he made that famous speech. That's the last time I really even think of the word Crown in my head. Other than the great quiz that Brody won.
You know, Denny Green was remembered for that. Of course, he's passed on. But what gets lost in the shuffle, he was a very good football coach.
Yeah, you remember he coached the Dante Culpepper to Randy Moss connection when they were the Vikings, and it was they had a high potent offense. Never did anything with that team, but man, I thought they were going to go somewhere for a while those years. That's for sure.
Excellent point.
28-0. Kiwani's down 28-0 now.
So not looking at all good for the Boilers.
Shout out to the Whitford family watching us from Tennessee. We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Bennett Williams set to kick off. That wind has died down a little bit. And here come the Hawks on the return. That's Palmore. Look at that speed. He's beyond midfield, finally taken down by the kicker, Bennett Williams.
Brought by number 7, Logan Clancy, along with number 51, Bennett Williams.
Wilmington up early over Newman, 7-0.
Well, one thing I want to point out to the fans, I talked to Brandon LaChance, who's working with Aaron Pelican today on WHAK 99.3 FM. If it's a road game, we will not have it on Tiger Central Live, but you will have an avenue to follow the Tigers if it's a road game. Again, 99.3 FM, WHAK will be carrying that game. Brandon LaChance and Aaron Pelican on the call. Of course, Schmitty and I would like to be back here at home. Fair on the carry and gets that customary how many yards, Schmitty?
3 yards.
3 yards. Clock will dip under a minute to go. Conceivably, this next play could be the last one. Of course, we've been full of praise for the Tigers today, but Schmitty's also noted these Hawks, though they don't have anything to show for it, they have played hard. They've had an outstanding season. And a running play for the Hawks is stuffed by the Tigers. Let's see if we can get a tackler on that. Number 28, Preston Arkle's in on the stop. And that should just about do it. Both teams are retreating to their sidelines. And that's going to wrap it up from Bryant Field as the Tigers have claimed a 40-0 victory. See some of the Hawks a little despondent, but as we mentioned, they've had an outstanding season. And for the Tigers, they will move on. Touchdowns for the Tigers. Augie Christensen had 2 of them on runs of 3 and 7 yards. Tegan Davis also had 2 rushing touchdowns of 28 and 14 yards. And Logan Glancy with a 1-yard run. Steven Benavidez, 4 out of 5. Checked at 3 out of 4 on extra point kicks, as the Tigers did go for a 2-point conversion and didn't make it. Schmitty's working busily on the numbers. You got some numbers for us, Schmitty? Go ahead.
Yeah, I do, Norm. First for the visiting Hawks, I got Palmore with 8 carries for 25 yards. Fair, 16 carries for 28 yards. Curl, 3 carries for 8 yards. Rafferty, 7 carries for 5 yards. If you do the math, that's 66 total yards offense is all that they had on the day. Hats off to the Tigers defense for that. Rafferty was 0 for 2 for 2 picks. 4 penalties for 39 yards and 2 first downs in the whole game. 1 in the first half, 1 in the second half. Just amazing.
Absolutely astounding, yeah.
Tegan Davis leading the way for the Tigers. He was 10 for 21, a little off on his game passing-wise for 130 yards and a touchdown with a pick also. Rushing the ball, he was 17 carries for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Augie Christensen, 22 carries for 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. Logan Glancy, 6 carries for 38 yards and a touchdown. And 1 carry for 7 yards for Ian Compton. In the receiving department, Bennett Sierens leading the way with 5 catches for 80 yards. Saihaki, 1 catch for 9 yards. Compton, 2 catches for 31 yards. And then Matt Lucas had a catch for 10 yards and a touchdown. And as you know, the Tigers had 22 first downs, 18 by the rush, 4 by the pass, and 1 by the flag. 3 penalties. They did a nice job. 3 penalties for 25 yards. Had 3 created 3 turnovers on the day. 1 fumble recovered by Logan Glancy, an interception by Cy Hockey, an interception by Tegan Davis. So, yeah, just a nice job, nice win by the Princeton Tigers. Really setting up with the up front linemen. The Tigers winning the line of scrimmage all day long, early and often, and come up with the big 40-0 Week 2 playoff victory. Now it's on to Week 3.
Schmitty, awesome job on the commentary and on the stats. Just an amazing job. Brody gives us an update that Chicago Phillips is up on Kewanee 28-0 at the half, so it doesn't look too good for the Boilers. We want to thank you for tuning in all season long on Tiger Central Live. And Schmitty, go ahead and acknowledge those sponsors.
Yeah, one last time, the Princeton Public School Foundation. Thank you. Thank you to Brody. Thank you to Steve Morton and Steve Gray. Thanks to Becks and Princeton Redi Crete, Midland Bank, Michlig Energy, and Central Bank. If you are around those places, please go patronize them as they brought these first 2 weeks of football to you guys. Norm, great job as always. Couldn't do this broadcast without you. You just make it easy for me, just setting me up for layup after layup, and I just, come right in, so we appreciate that.
You're being most generous. But, yeah, I actually did that, Schmitty. I was in a few of those places of businesses and, told them thank you. And you'd be surprised the reaction you get. People do something nice for somebody. They like to be appreciated. And, again, just kudos to Steve Morton, Steve Gray, and Brody Anderson. Their work is what really catches the eye of our fans. They do just an unbelievable job. So that's going to wrap it up for us. Our final score, Princeton 40 and the Fairbury Praire Central Hawks 0.